What's up, everyone? Welcome. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the Wednesday live stream. How's everyone doing? Okay, so tonight will be a interesting live stream. I want to talk about the whole um, male loneliness epidemic that people always talk about. I'm gonna have a lot of videos tonight, to react to and talk about. Yo, big bars, what's up, my brother? This is a thing where I want to give my own perspective about it and maybe clear it up in a way that I believe it's actually. So there is a why people are saying the whole male loneliness epidemic is that younger men are dating less and they're interacting with women less. So this is a thing where you you have to understand why, the reasoning. So we're gonna talk about it. I have some videos that we're gonna react to and check it out. So, but I'm gonna talk about it because I believe that what truly is the problem, not that men can't get women and shit like that. What truly is the problem is that men, young men, particularly young men, are directionless and guideless. Back in the day, it was so simple. It was so simple. And here's the thing: men do everything to get a woman. He works, he slaves away, he destroys his body, he he does everything with the hope of getting a woman, getting a mate, creating a family. So back in the day, it was simple. Go to work, a regular job, whatever, and then women, it wouldn't be that hard. Okay, it wouldn't be that hard. She would her standards, just have you work a 9 to 5 job, boom, she's into you. If you're decent looking, okay, you're decent looking and you're a nice person. Now that women are working, their standards have gone up. So let's say back in the day, a man that makes 40K a year, good enough. Good enough. As long as he's a decent person, boom, fine. Right? Be a decent person, make enough to sustain a family. Boom. Now, women are making that 40K, women are making that 50, 60, maybe even six figure. So now, men's money, at least average men's money, is meaningless. So, one, you have to either make more than women, which is sometimes well above 100K, and not just that, because as women now have the ability, they're making just as much as men, sometimes even more. Money is not just the only requirement, because women's, I don't know, mental whatever, thinking that they are so much higher quality. Women, because women are making more money. That's the thing too, because women are making so much money, they think that they're so much better than men. So now they require men to be even better. So young men don't know what to do. Don't know what to do. Now, average men are constantly being shitted on. Average men are constantly being shitted on. You're not good enough. You're not tall enough. You're not good looking enough. You're not emotionally intelligent enough. You definitely don't make enough. You're not charming enough. So a lot of men don't know what to do with life. They don't know how to navigate life. Especially, let's say this, especially, I think the true epidemic is the single mother epidemic. Women do not know how to raise proper men. Those women are, honestly, a lot of women, not all single mothers, they are destroying their sons because they don't know how to guide their sons to a better life. So we'll talk about that. We have some videos, so let's get started. Let's get started. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Okay, so
right, folks, I regret to inform you, the men are not okay. That's right, folks, the men are not okay. The men have no friends, no girlfriend, no college education, no money, are breaking their legs and inserting metal rods into their bones to be a few inches taller, and listening to AI Batman help them overcome their pornography addictions.
You deserve real love.
Turns out the society that...
And that's the thing, okay? Men are directionless and guideless, so they are escaping the world. They're escaping the hardships of the world. Because here's the thing. If you have a good father figure, a good man to look up to, he would teach you you need to take the struggles and persevere. You need to overcome the struggles. You need to pick yourself up and fight. But no, you don't know how to do it. You don't know that you need to do it. So a lot of men are escaping, escaping reality. A lot of them are almost half of the male population in the U.S. is subscribed to OF. Almost half of the male population is subscribed to OF. Come on, guys. It's like you are wasting the little money you have to fund other women's life. So she can now get with the players, the bad boys, the Chads and Tyrones, while you are funding it.
That was built by and allegedly for men has indeed let them down. Now you might be thinking, oh look, another boo-hoo poor men video by Shoe on Head. Yes, and if you have a problem with
amazing. This is the thing where I hope that my audience aren't that type of audience. They're not needing to fund women's lives. They're not needing to subscribe to OF. They're good. These are the men that are strong, but these are the men that will show you that you can do better.
With that, tune into literally anything else. Men are in a crisis, and it seems nobody really cares. And the people who do care just seem like and thank you, the viewer, as always. And thank you, the This is a good thing. The she-economy is booming, as they say. And meanwhile, men being single is treated like this.
New study explains why some single men are having a hard time finding a new partner.
Some of the music that they listen to speaks very derogatory.
Right. Yeah, man, stop listening to that derogatory music. Then maybe you won't be single. I don't know, I think men and women being single and lonely kind of shows there might be something wrong with society. Perhaps we should address this, not just wave it off as empowering or pathetic. According to several different articles, I love how that's my source, I read about it on the internet, research shows that people from individualist countries show a greater sense of loneliness. This is linked to socioeconomic development, increased education, a shift towards white-collar jobs, and urbanization. Japan also has an issue with loneliness. In fact, they have a whole movement of people they call the hikikomori. Did I say that right? I don't care. Basically, postmodern hermits. Mostly young men who completely withdraw from society, secluding themselves in their rooms for months and years at a time. In 2010, there was an estimated 700,000 hikikomori in Japan. And today, it's estimated to be about 1.55 million. And because of things like this, people aren't having babies, so Japan's population has been in a sharp decline since 2011. It's gotten so bad that Japan even produces videos of live-action women staring into the camera to help the hikikomori learn to cope with eye contact and reintegrate them back into society. So basically, if you want to know America's future, look no further than Japan. A lot of people, including myself, blame this partially on the rise of social media and technology. RIP to the king. Although technology makes things easier, it can also make us more atomized. Why go to the mall when I can just tap, 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 buy a new microphone, and have it shipped to me in a day? Why hang out with friends when I can get all my social interaction I need from Twitter and streamers? Why go on dates and bother meeting women when I can just tap, 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 Google big boob and get 2 million results? Or see my high school crush's holes on OnlyFans for only $5. Instant dopamine, instant satisfaction, and hey, who even needs a real woman when you could just have an AI girlfriend? We're f***ed. We're so f***ed. Dating apps really are the great Satan, and I'm convinced they've completely broken men's brains. Women on dating apps are picky. Women in general are picky, and I mean, naturally we are pickier. You know, we're the ones who carry the babies. at least for now. But on dating apps, you have to admit, it's a little insane. It's safe to say that the commodification of love and the window shopping of dating apps probably has to do a lot with the rise of lonely single men. Men are not just lonely when it comes to dating, they're lonely when it comes to friendship too. According to Vox, Americans are currently in a friendship recession, and men are being hit the hardest. The percentage of men who reported having at least 6 close friendships fell in half since the 90s. 1 in 5 men say they have no close friendships. Looking at all these statistics,
You know, this is a thing where this is why I created my channel, because I sympathize with men so much. Being a man myself, okay? It is hard for men to establish friendships. Let alone relationships. It is hard for men to establish friendships. And it's also hard for men to sustain friendships. Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, everyone will go do their own shit, live their own life, especially men, where men have to work hard to conquer the world, to, you know, be good providers. They need to, you know, create a life where they are valuable, create a life where they can, show that they are good providers. So I sympathize for men that it is hard. Men grew up. It's hard. It's very hard that, no one cares about. Not just men are lonely that they can't have a woman. They're just lonely, period. Where nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody's talking to you. Nobody's listening to you. Nobody's there for you. And that's the hardship that a lot of men face. This is the thing where I want to build a community. Yes, it's online. I get it. But, that's the hardship. Who knows, right? Who knows if the future can bring where I can create a community where we could also be, real life friends. Okay? Who knows? But definitely, I want to create a community where we actually listen to each other. We're actually can talk to each other, understand each other and be there for each other. So, a bit more substance.
The explosion of figures like Andrew Tate is not surprising at all.
I believe being a man is a blessing because it starts so difficult. I believe that every man is born without any value at all. I think that the world's never going to think you're important unless you make yourself important.
And recently, a new study came out about how young men are moving towards the right. And every other month, we, the liberal, sockdem, leftists, whatever you want to call the space online, performs the same song and dance. What's wrong with men? Why is this happening? Why don't we have a leftist Andrew Tate? We need to push men to the left. Andrew Tate rarely, if ever, talks about politics. Andrew Tate talks about men, and the left only talks about men when they talk about Andrew Tate. A few months ago, during one of the monthly song and dances, some progressive people I follow made the mistake of addressing men's issues, and the even bigger mistake of pointing their finger at their own spaces for not doing enough to address said men's issues.
Recently, there were some statistics by healthcare company Cigna indicating that men are the loneliest generation. And addressing it doesn't mean that you turn your back on issues pertaining to women, but it does mean that we should be focused on what it is in society that is leading to this epidemic, what the left can do to offer solutions, and how we can basically fight back against the more nefarious figures who have filled the void that men are struggling with, people like Jordan Peterson and what have you. Now, recently, Vosh, who's a popular streamer, had tweeted this thread that I think is really, really important to address. He writes, "I cannot stress enough how important it is to understand that 12-year-old white boys on Twitch are not being pulled into fascism because of some Machiavellian desire to preserve and expand their privileges. It's because the right talks to them and the left doesn't."
The responses to these tweets and this content were very normal, level-headed, and respectful. Me when I lie. LMAO, cry about it. Boo f***ing who? Oh no, poor widow men having problems. Boo f***ing.
I'm going to show you in this video, after, she has 2 videos, this one and another one. I'm going to show you just how continuing that no empathy, no sympathy for men. Who gives a shit men are lonely? Men deserve it. It's a natural selection. Men deserve to be lonely. Men are lonely because they're creeps. Like, boo-hoo! Who cares if men are suffering? Who cares? Who cares self-deletion rate is high for men. Who cares about men? F men, fuck men. They're nothing. They're nothing special. They're creepy. They're dangerous. They're psychopathic. They're any other shit you want to say about men. We will see that in society. Every group is more important than men. Any race of groups, genders, all the genders, okay? Every other group is more important than men. More important than men. And yet you say society is built for men. It isn't. I 100% believe society isn't built for men. It's built on the backs of men. It's built on the backs of men. Society is built for top tier men, the top percent men, okay? The top percent men, the kings, the dukes, the senators, the presidents. And it's built for women because women have natural value. So society isn't built for men. It's built on the backs of men. Insecure, yes, they're going to say that. They're going to say men are insecure. That's the thing where that is why I created my channel. Because I'm tired. Men, average men, are always the underdogs. They're always at the bottom of the barrel.
Who? Grow the f up then. Have men considered being smarter? I'm enjoying all these sad little moids and their sad little tweets about their sad, pathetic lives. Sounds like a personal problem. Is the lack of compassion for men in the room with us right now? Maybe men are just not good people then. I'm so fucking tired of people trying to make male loneliness a huge societal problem. Yeah, no, their fifis are not my responsibility, and I shouldn't have to be punished because they can't get their shit together as humans.
You know, it's funny that nobody cares about men. And then you want to bring up issues. Oh, why aren't men asking women out anymore? Or why are the birth rate low? Why aren't men going to college anymore? You know, why are men, I don't know, always into gaming? You have so many complaints about men. Have so many complaints about men. But hell, fuck men's problems, right? Yeah, complaints galore about men. But you wonder why. What's the root? What's the root? Okay, what's the issues? But no, you don't care. You don't care. You'll gladly complain about men. You don't care how to solve that shit.
Human beings, grow the f up. Why are we trying to win these entitled little predators over? The left isn't for them. That's why they go right in the first place. We're all lonely and alienated. It's young men going to the alt-right in droves. The problem isn't our messaging, it's them. It's literally not our problem. Men flock to Andrew Tate not because they're lonely, but because they're bigots. Hope this helps. Nah, it's just misogynists being louder than before and not getting laid. LOL. Cry harder, losers. 90% of all homicides recorded worldwide were committed by male perpetrators. We should just get rid of all males, to be honest.
The most stupidest thing. This is the thing, okay? That's 90% of crimes committed by men. Doesn't mean 90% of men commit crime. Let's say this. If it was 100, like, let's say out of 100, it's like, let's say the 90% of homicide. Let's say homicide is 100 killings, okay? 100 homicide cases. 90 of those cases were men. So 100 cases, 90 men don't mean, you know, the what? 100 million men that are in the US. Not the same thing.
This includes trans women, as they still retain male violence. By the way,
Oh, wow. Okay.
you know the Tumblr feminists who were like, all men are sexist and rapists, male tears, penises are evil, blah 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 back in the day? Well, this is them now. Should've just let me.
Women are hateful. Exactly. That's the thing where this is why one of the things why I created my channel. Okay, I created my channel, and you know, if you see my other lives, I do you know, police cam videos. I do police cam videos, and I've said it in those videos where Why do I show mostly women? Because this is the fucking hypocrisy and delusion that society has created. Only men are violent. Only men kill. Only men do shitty shit. I have never said men were perfect. I have never said men don't do terrible shit. I don't. I've never said that. I've never been, oh, men are amazing people. No. I said that, wake the fuck up. Women are no better than men. Okay? Women are no better than men. Just so happens that men do more extreme shit, but women, anything a man has done, women have done it as well. Anything. Abuse, women have done it. Okay? Doing shit to children, women have done it. It's like you name a thing a man has done, women have done it. It's just that it's always painted that men are the worst. I'm just saying that it's humans, not because of, just painted that, oh, it's men. It's tiring.
Cook back then. Listen up, chuckle. I'm white, socially awkward, autistic, in my 40s, ugly, overweight, crippled, got a weird balding pattern, and have bad skin. You know what I didn't do? Choose to become a fascist, because I recognize most of the sort that look like me are the problem. I may be hideously ugly and pathetic, but at least I'm not a fascist. Thank you for your input, buddy. You're, really helping the situation. The reason young men flock to alt-right MRA movements is because the left gives brain-dead advice to young men. We need to be more compassionate to them, for our own sake. I'm sorry, but how is respect women brain-dead advice? What advice? Don't rape? Don't be a rapist is bad advice? Help, I have no friends.
Who teaches men? Who teaches men to be disrespectful? Who teaches men to be violent or rape women? Who? Every one of these men have a mother. Every one of these men have a mother. It's not taught. It's not naturally taught. I don't know what woman is teaching their son to do these terrible things. We neglect that society has a hand in shaping men, shaping young men. We forget society has a hand in shaping young men. What happens in school, happens in high school, college, what happens in the workplace, what happens outside in the streets, those have a hand in shaping the minds of young men. No one is saying, oh, disrespect women. No. But guess what? And this is not like an excuse, but what shapes a young man? If women, most of his life, he has been disrespected by women. He has been ignored by women. He has been put down by women. He has been completely shitted on by women. I'm not saying that should equal disrespect. I'm saying that there's no empathy. There's no sympathy when it comes to men. We have sympathy, when like if women experience trauma in their younger years. We have sympathy for that, okay? We have sympathy if something bad happened to women and just so happens that whatever happened, she turns out whatever in her future. People have sympathy for that. People have, empathy for that. When it comes to a man, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit if the world shitted on him when he was young? He's just a shitty person now, right?
Friends or community, I feel suicidal. Have you considered not raping? Act like a decent fucking human being. It's not hard. Is brain dead advice? Brain dead advice like get consent and don't be a Nazi and women are people. Walking up to men struggling with loneliness and depression like
kids, don't be racist.
Incredible. Here's my actual advice I would give to my teen boys as a leftist. 1. Always get enthusiastic consent. 2. Save the planet. 3. Don't say that. It's actually kind of racist. Like, what the f is this? How does this address men and their issues? It doesn't. Why does their advice always seem to be, become a liberal? Hey men, here's how to fix all your problems. Agree with me politically. Men flock.
That's how it is. That's how you raise your son. Care about everyone else but yourself. Don't matter how people treat you. It's just. This is what I'm saying. The world is built on the backs of men. Not for the care of men, not for men.
to the MRA movement because they're the largest beneficiaries of MRA shit. Imagine saying women flock to women's rights activism because they're the biggest beneficiaries of women's rights. Like, no f***ing shit. Let's be honest, aside from procreation purposes, men have become obsolete. Most women can find other methods of achieving orgasm without a man there. And speaking as a man, most of us are horrid to be around, and I don't blame any woman for just saying, no thanks.
You know, it's men like that, right? Men like that are truly the ones that have skeleton in their closet.
Oh my god, dude, this is what every Just Pearly Things tweet looks like to me, just with the genders swapped. This is pathetic. You know what fixes male loneliness? Jerking off. As a man, I'll say this. Sit down, shut up, and beat one out. You'll feel better, I promise. Yeah, guys, just beat one out. Just off, just watch porn. Batman will be very disappointed in all of you. It's so funny how men feel entitled to a girlfriend. No, you sexist freak.
Men don't feel entitled. Now, young men, they're probably, like I said, they're guideless and directionless. Men in general don't feel entitled to women, okay? They don't feel entitled to women. They just want it to be a fair playing field. They want it to be a fair playing field. They want it to make sense. They want dating to not be delusional and full of hypocrisy. They don't feel entitled to women.
One side is like, wanting a girlfriend is sexist entitlement, and the other side is like, here's how to get a girlfriend. I don't know, bro. What happened to males just kicking the bucket? Now they just come on here and try to make their loneliness and misery into some social justice issue. Oh, trust me, men are still kicking the bucket. And when they're not giving mind-blowing advice like just to be a liberal, they're outright dismissing men's issues completely. It's not our job to educate them. Since men created the problem, they need to take steps to fix it. We have other things to care about. Men can figure out their own problems that they created. Again, it's not women's jobs to change how men are socialized. It's a man issue.
This is why don't talk about shit when men are trying to change shit. You know, shitty people like this, the tweets, all these tweets that she's reading, this is why Fresh and Fit has come up. You see other male, whatever podcasts, Andrew Tate, other men-oriented content is on the rise. Because nobody fucking cares. Nobody fucking cares. So, I don't say I agree with all these people I just named, but this is why men are trying to do this is why men are, making content for other men. Trying to talk to other men. Trying to, be there for other men. Because the world does not care. So, this is why men are caring.
You and y'all need to address that amongst yourselves. Men created their own problems. Men can solve their own problems. The left is busy.
Yo, why? Thank you for stopping by, my brother. You about to have dinner and then walk Odin?
Why does the well-being of other people concern me? Leftist, by the way. It's all systemic issues and societal factors and blah 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 until it's a man and then suddenly it's pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. This problem is just a consequence of the patriarchy. Now take a wild guess about which gender created the patriarchy. Solve your own problems and leave women alone. These people rightly mock the bootstraps rhetoric until the subject is a man and then it's bootstraps all the way down. They would never talk about any other group this way. It's wild. And it's kind of like both sides are telling men to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, but one is like, I'll show you how, and the other is like, fuck off. And when they're not telling men to straight up fuck off, they're giving the 200 IQ answer that nobody has ever heard before. Just show your emotions, bro. And I'm not dismissing this problem.
Men are slowly putting their money where their mouth is. The passport bro movement is growing. MGTOW movement is growing. Those movements are growing where men are going their own way. Fuck women, right? I don't need to date or marry women. If I need to pay for it, I'll pay for it, but I'm gonna make my money for myself. I'm gonna make my money so I can enjoy it myself. Have my dog, buy the shit I want, live the life I want. Okay, MGTOW movement. Or fuck Western women. I'm gonna go and find a traditional woman outside the US. I'm gonna use my money not dealing with the bitter Western ideology.
Okay, I've made videos talking about this. Oh, you're crying at your grandfather's funeral? Okay, faggot. And studies have shown that men are scared to be vulnerable, even around the homies. And can you blame them when the media says stupid like this? Fellas, is it woke to open up to your fellow men and discuss history? Men are socialized to believe strength, dominance, and stoicism are behaviors of a real man. Is it any surprise that men are lonely and have less friends nowadays? You have to be vulnerable to make friends. Don't tell me there aren't systemic problems affecting men. Now, while a lot of this may be true, men have...
You have to be vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable to make friends. And then say men are suffering from loneliness. And then she read dozens upon dozens upon dozens of tweets of women and other men shitting on men being vulnerable. Loneliness is a vulnerability. So you saw how society treats men for being vulnerable. Literally, she read dozens upon dozens upon dozens of tweets. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of people, men and women, shitting on men being vulnerable. Yeah.
Been socialized this way for centuries, and this is all relatively a new phenomenon. Toxic masculinity has existed forever. If anything, there's less toxic
What's up, Queen? Vulnerability is a challenging thing. I agree. It is challenging.
Masculinity nowadays. The cultural embrace of like gender nonconformity, femboys, Harry Styles in a dress, Barbie movie, blah 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 blah. My point is, toxic masculinity did not just appear in the mid-2010s, but social media did, and the internet did, and the rise of dating apps did, and the housing crisis, and living in a country where the wealth inequality is worse than it was during the Gilded Age. That all happened recently. Oh my god, the privileged life these poor little boys must have, that their biggest problem is being lonely, i.e. so insufferable that nobody wants to sleep with them. So much more pressing than
the lonely epidemic is not necessarily about, oh, I need a woman. I've said this before. It's not just women. They don't even have friends. They don't even have friends, okay? It's not always about having sex with women. The whole male loneliness epidemic is not just fucking about women. It's not, everything's not about women, okay? It's not that these men don't have women. No, these guys don't even have a friend. Don't even have someone to listen to them. Don't even have someone to talk to. And I said it. It's not necessarily about, oh, I'm lonely, I don't have a woman. No, it's these men are guideless and directionless. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do in life. You think about this, okay? What the mom said, oh, I'm going to teach my son to, not say racist shit. I'm going to teach my son how to save the planet. Okay. Does that achieve his happiness? Would that achieve him creating a family? Would that make him happy? Or are you trying to make him care about the world but not himself? This is a thing where young men don't know what to do to achieve happiness, to achieve a goal of the American dream.
poor distribution of wealth causing people to suffer food and housing insecurity. Boo-hoo, you're lonely and have no friends and are suicidal, wah. Because feeling alienated under capitalism apparently isn't a thing. People are working harder and longer while wages have been stagnant, men have been dropping out of college like flies, and what does that get you? Poor men. Which, since women are doing amazing in college now, and many are now out-earning men, this most of the time leads to single men, which then leads to lonely men, which leads to depressed men, which leads to the high suicide rate. In my opinion, leftism at a policy level does a great job addressing the shitty material conditions that in part lead to the problems that men are facing, but then absolutely drops the ball when it comes.
That's the thing where the whole battle of sexes, that's why a lot of men are giving up on helping out women. Because you think you're strong, independent, you don't care about men, fine. You go carry your own shit. No more, I don't need to be fucking a gentleman to you. Why? What's the reason why I would need to be a gentleman to you? Why you could shit on men? No.
Comes to everything and anything related to men's cultural issues, many such cases. And why would a struggling man even want to move left when the left appears actively hostile to them?
The question of whether or not the hashtag online left does enough to appeal to hashtag men has become the question du jour. And men have most of the money, authority, and do most of the murdering and assaulting.
The average young man in America isn't Jeff Bezos. Also, why did this motherfucker just FBI crimes?
Men have most of the money. there are more. It's like, seriously, there are more homeless men. There are more homeless men than there are homeless women. Men have most of the money. There are more homeless men than there are homeless women. Okay? There are more programs to help out women than there are for men. Men do most of the. It's like, fuck it. This is why I say, men, even men will shit on other men. Nobody cares about men. Patriarchy was not made for men. Stop it with that bullshit. Okay? If the patriarchy was made for men, all men would be fucking living life, but not. I said this before. The patriarchy, okay, that women want to talk about is made for top tier men and made for women. And it's made for women. It really is. It's made for women to, have the value that they have.
Statistics at me. Men do the most murder. Okay?
They like having all of the stuff they don't deserve. They like that. They want it to stay that way because it suits them. Because of the stuff, telling people they're special and deserve all the nice shit that they have, that's going to be an easier sell 10 times out of 10 than like saying, hey, maybe you should have less stuff and other people should have more.
Leftism is when you don't have a lot of stuff. We're gonna take your stuff. You sound like a 65-year-old Fox News boomer's idea of what the left is. Are you a CIA agent? The right is saying to men, you will own a house. You will have beautiful children with your loving wife. You will have privacy. You will have free speech. You will own things, and you will be happy. And the left is like,
they like having all of the stuff they don't deserve.
But don't get me wrong, Republicans will not do shit. The Republican Party will not do shit. The establishment in general will not do shit to help any of this. But the right is, at least rhetorically, offering men something other than nothing or the eternal HR department. Every time this discord comes up, there's people like, we need a leftist Andrew Tate. We need masculine role models on the left. But the fact is, it's hard for progressives to organically appeal to men, because a large part of progressivism is oppressive hierarchies, and men are oppressors. Making progressivism look appealing to young men is an uphill battle from the start. And although it's funny to laugh at insane people on Twitter, as always, there have been a lot of left-wing content creators talking about men's issues. If you would have told me this would be a thing 9 years ago, I would not believe you, because anyone talking about men's issues back in the day was called an MRA or
100%. Part of the whole the male loneliness epidemic is mothers have failed men. Mothers have failed their son. One, there's a single mother epidemic. You don't have fathers in the household. You don't pick good fathers for these kids, for these sons. And then you cheat your son to be a fucking idiot.
a pick-me. But lately I have seen a lot of good pro-men lefty content, and I'll put some links to some below. I don't agree with all the points they say, but I recommend watching. It's much better than...
They like having all of the stuff they don't deserve.
But the issue is a lot of this lefty pro-men content, it's always framed around how do we get them? As if men are just pawns and tools for your personal politics. How do we make the left...
Men have always been the pawn of everything and anything.
more appealing to men? How do we stop lonely men from moving to Andrew Tate? Instead of just, how do we help men? And I think that's a really big issue. Both sides seem to treat men as political fodder. Disposable soldiers in the culture war and real war. Anyway, misandry is real. Oh good, finally! And while it doesn't systemically affect cis men, it most certainly affects trans men. Oh. Y'all talking about misandry doesn't harm men, and trans men are right there reading this shit, by the way. I see, now we only care about misandry because it affects trans men. Everyone stop! It's affecting a group I care about now. I love how the rhetoric just evolved overnight, from male tears to cis male tears. And I just have to ask, why aren't you including trans men in your misandry,
Nobody told me how lonely being a man is. We knew what depth felt like before we transitioned. We knew what it felt like to have people want to hug us. And
thanks, Y. I know you gotta do what you gotta do. Eat that food.
have people want to talk to us and have a community. And then you transition and you're just a guy walking down the street that people cross the street so that they're not near you. And friendships are so much harder to...
That's exactly. This is a thing where I've always felt the biggest thing is that young men don't have a good support system. They don't. They don't have any man that cares about them, that wants to listen. They don't have any man that wants to listen, that even cares how their life goes. I think that's the worst thing ever.
Build. What's hard is none of this invalidates how real and raw women and people who are in marginalized groups feel about cis white men. All of that's valid. But I also now understand why the suicide rate is so much higher in men.
Welcome to being a man. Here's your complimentary isolation and yellow pillow. I love how even when he's experiencing the issues of being a man, he's like, this doesn't invalidate people hating men. Come on, bro. Men struggling don't want to be lectured about the patriarchy. They don't want to be told it's all their fault. They don't want to be...
And that's why women, trans men can't be actual men. Because when you're talking about men's issues, you still bring it back to other people's issues. You don't, it's like, seriously? What man is like suffering from the shit that he's going through, but other people's issue is just as important? Fucking, are you crazy?
Told they're part of the problem, because first of all, they're not. The average 20-year-old didn't build society. They go to work, come home, off to sissy hypno fetish porn, and go to bed like everyone else. I've talked about this before, but a lot of men's value comes from the money they make, unfortunately. Men are natural providers, and if they have nobody to provide for, they get into findom or send random girls on the internet money. I'm just kidding, but the fact is, a lot of men...
And that's the thing, where men naturally, their purpose is to provide. Their purpose is to provide. But now, young women don't find young men suitable because they can't provide, or they can't provide enough. Because a young woman can make equal to a young man, maybe even more than him. So he's not good enough. This is a thing where there are more young men that are single than there are young women. Guess what? Because young women are dating older men. They are choosing to date older men because they have more resources. They can provide better.
Men simply feel like they don't have a purpose anymore. Whether a job or a career that's fulfilling and pays well.
That's the thing where, Van Gogh chopped his ear off, suffering from mental health. This is why I say, like, no one cares about men's mental health. Nobody. At least until it affects you.
Or a woman or family to protect and take care of and provide for. Men are lacking purpose, and a man will crawl through broken glass for a purpose. But you know who does make them feel like they have a purpose? No, not him.
I say that life as a man is exceptionally difficult. I say the most beautiful and the most terrifying thing about being a man is you're born without value. Society doesn't care about you.
The absolute audacity to act shocked that Andrew Tate is scooping these guys up after a decade of lol male tears is insane. Andrew Tate isn't the solution to men's problems, but he is talking to them. The fact is, you did not care about them for years, and even now you just want to...
This is an older video. I mean, Andrew Tate is not that big, like, right now, but it's just that young men are looking for guidance from wherever they can find it that makes sense. They just can't find it from the left that hates them. So really, they most likely, they're finding from the right that kind of speaks to them. Here's her second video.
If you guys are unaware,
this is her second video.
my last video was the one I've been working on for a while, called the Male Loneliness Epidemic. If you haven't watched that video, please go watch. We're not skipping the ad. Right? Now let's get back to the video. Men are lacking purpose, and a man will crawl through broken glass for a purpose.
There's a lot of truth to what you're saying there, and in the whole video, which is worth watching. That video has 1.5 million views in just the last week.
Thanks, Matt Walsh. You're my greatest ally. My male loneliness video was the fastest growing video on my channel to date, and there is a reason for that. It resonated with a lot of people. I got hundreds and hundreds of comments every single day by men venting in my comment section, feeling like for once they were being heard and that they were in a place where they could talk. It was simultaneously the most heartwarming and heartbreaking thing I've ever seen. And this discussion blew up so much that it eventually reached TikTok.
So apparently there's a male loneliness epidemic right now.
Aww. Is this the consequences of your own actions? Men get recognized for the useless things that they are in society. And what do men do? Oh my
my god, I'm lonely.
Is there a male loneliness epidemic right now, or are more and more women just progressively realizing that there's a lot better things to do in life than be stuck with a toxic, insecure man?
I don't think we're in the middle of a male loneliness epidemic. We're in the middle of a mass female awakening.
You're just reaping the consequences of your terrible upbringing. Your own.
She includes a lot of these. I'll also have some at the end too, after this video. It's just, this is, in my personal opinion. Now, there are studies that say women are more empathetic than men. Whatever, fine. Clearly, I don't believe that. Clearly, I don't believe women are more empathetic or sympathetic than men. I don't. Now, do I believe men are more? I just don't believe women are more sympathetic or empathetic than men. Women can give a shit about men. Great, women care about other women and children. Cool. They don't give a shit about men. So when your empathy only, works for other women, I don't know how powerful that is. I don't know how amazing that is.
Some men are lonely because y'all are fucking creeps.
Y'all deserve to be lonely. Every single one of them. This is their fault. Fuck them.
Men's loneliness epidemic that's going on. That sounds like it really sucks. Just wondering if they've considered smiling more.
Wow, that's a really funny joke. I've never heard that before.
Have the men just tried smiling a little bit more?
You know, I'd recommend smiling more.
Have they tried smiling more?
Have you thought about smiling more?
Maybe they should smile more.
Maybe they should try to smile more.
Have they tried smiling more?
That's awful. Have they tried smiling?
Is this why people think women aren't funny? Bleak. Now, TikTok isn't the only...
I definitely don't think women are funny. I've never found a female comedian funny. So...
place where this insanity happened. The thumbnail of my video went viral on Twitter, which led to some of the most funniest and unhinged reactions. So we are going to go through some of these and talk about them, as well as some of the angry comments I got from the manosphere. Let's jump into it. Male loneliness is not real and not valid. Men are lonely because they are terrible people. Why the f should anyone have empathy for men? Men were born bad. Men are subhuman, and their loneliness can't be...
Men are born... Where's the empathy in any of these tweets?
Be cured because they can't relate to actual human beings. Most men are born useless and are meant to die alone. Nah, male suicide rate needs to be higher, actually. These men are 100% the most misogynistic demons on the planet and deserve every bit of loneliness they feel. LOL. You don't...
All future dog owners. Yeah. This is a thing where I wanted to create, again, I want to push men to have self-respect. To persevere. Persevere. Fuck the critics. Fuck the haters. Okay? If the world hates you, fuck it. Hell with it. Persevere. Keep moving forward. I support you. I believe in you. Hell with these people. Persevere. You can do it. It's going to be a struggle because the world shits on men. The world shits on men. They do. It's a hard journey. It really is. 100% it's hard.
I understand the pleasure it gives me to see these men crying and depressed. Imagine losing in the world that is literally built for you. This is an insane question to ask considering how society continues to fail women and girls at every turn. Crazy how men's well-being is considered...
Society fails women and girls. When girls are outperforming boys, young boys, in school, they're doing better. Women are more college educated than men. Really? They're failing women and girls, huh? Really?
a communal responsibility, but women's well-being isn't even considered. Oh, how delightful! A tweet from Earth 2! I'm so tired of the idea that we must have infinite empathy for men's loneliness while women are sexualized from fucking birth. We are assaulted, harassed, raped, and killed for something we didn't choose to be. But boo-hoo, the poor men and their inability to
Yeah, if you don't have haters, you ain't popping.
make friends. You know we can talk about multiple things at the same time, right? Also, it's deranged to say that society doesn't care about women's sexual assault. We have domestic violence shelters that we can go to. Men don't. Men being assaulted by women, men being raped is all played off as a joke. When a little boy is molested by an older woman, it's seen as cool and hot. Society is fucked up all around. It's not a competition. It is not a zero-sum game. My video can exist alongside your advocacy for women's rights. As long as you're not saying dumb fucking shit, I will
sing like she just said. I'm not here to shit on women. I'm not here to shit on women. I'm here to support men and show you the hypocrisy that men are facing, the delusion that men are facing. This is a thing where, you know, it's like, to not see that, yes, there are problems, but why must we shit on men? Because what? We believe men are the source of all problems? It's absolutely ridiculous. We live in a world where it has 100%. There will not be a world where there's only women or there's only men. That shit is fucking ridiculous. But yet we can't make each other. We can't do it where we can coexist. It's always versus each other. And this is the thing where I'm not necessarily saying that maybe I do it where it seems like we're versing each other, but more I'm doing it where I want to do it where we're not showing a blind eye that, okay, women are angels. Women are not just, women are exactly like men. They don't, it's like the things that men do, women have done it too.
Give a fuck about male loneliness. Like, bro, if you can't meet a girl, just dial up the queer homie and hook up like a normal person. God, if men are lonely on an epidemic scale, why don't they just cuddle and make out with each other? Why don't they just befriend and date each other? Problem solved. I love this advice. Just be gay. Simply become gay. Are you a lonely man? Are you a fucking loser? Consider sucking dick. Tell me why I, as a queer woman, should take time out of my day to care about men and their issues. Quickly. I'm not disabled. Why should I care about disabled people? Why talk about unions or workers' rights when I'm self-employed? If I only cared about causes that only affected me, I wouldn't even have a YouTube channel. I mean, yes, you don't have to care. You don't have to care about everything. But it doesn't affect me, so why should I care is just a terrible reason not to care. There's no such thing as misandry, just women who have had bad experiences with men and have woken up. There's no such thing as racism, just white people who have had bad experiences with black people. That's you. That's what you sound like. Can't stand this sort of pathetic pity party. We live in a time of abject plenty compared to any other time in history. Yeah, stop being depressed. You have a bunch of cheap plastic shit from China. Line goes up, world more gooder. Male loneliness epidemic, and it's just them not being able to get laid. Like, we really don't give a fuck. I love how this is always the go-to when it comes to this conversation. Oh no, the men aren't getting laid. But if you, like, actually talk to some of these guys, like, even if you talk to some of these...
Yes, it's not about fucking getting laid. I said it. This is why there is no empathy or sympathy when it comes to men. This is why I say I don't think women are more empathetic or sympathetic than men. Because they only think, well, oh, men only want to get laid. No, men are lonely, not because they don't have women, not just because they don't have women. It's because they have nobody. Nobody. Family don't care about them. No friend, no woman. Okay? Nobody cares about them. And on top of that, they are directionless. They are godless. They don't know what to fucking do in life. They don't have a purpose. This is a thing where, this is what I'm saying. Men care about people while women care about themselves. Because here's the thing. Men's purpose, men's direction have always been to create a family, to provide for a family. So now that that view, that direction, that goal is very murky, is not as clear, men don't know what to do. Women are fine because honestly, they don't care about family, about husband, about children. No, what they care about is working. So for themselves, for their own happiness. They care about, oh, you know what? I make enough money so I can, I don't know, travel the world, buy Birkins, live my own life, not caring about anybody else. Not caring about the next generation. Not caring about creating the next generation. Not caring about, continuing mankind. I only care about myself here and now.
Incels, the ones who don't hate women, they're gonna tell you that it's not really about sex. It's about companionship. It's about friendship. It's about having a girlfriend, a wife, a family. And a lot of these people were like, well, that's why we should just legalize sex work. And honestly, I don't think that's a solution. Maybe it's like a temporary one, but it's kind of like putting a band-aid on a broken leg. I don't think paying for meaningless sex with a stranger is going to...
Yo, Ruthless. I believe that, you know what? Women unknowingly, they don't know that they are constantly using others for their own selfishness. They're fine that they say men are useless, but they're fine with using men's accomplishments. The housing, the streets, the technology. They're fine with using all the shit men can provide. The electricity, the energy. They're fine with using what men can provide. But then in the same breath of saying men are useless. Men are not needed.
Solve the problem. In fact, it might make it worse over time. Instead of male loneliness epidemic, call it a cis male unfuckability crisis. It's just like what I said in the video. They have to add cis now because they don't want to insult trans men. Men suck! I hate them! Oh, not you! You're not a man. Yikes! Bruh, when they stop killing women, I'll stop generalizing them. Maybe I'll start worrying about their loneliness when they stop unaliving and raping children and women.
So, women, statistically, are more harmful to children. So, we should stop caring about women's rights because some women are more harmful to children. That is the most idiotic shit ever. Because some men do stupid shit, do dangerous shit, do horrible shit. We should not care about all men. It's absolutely stupid. It really is.
Yeah, lonely guys, stop raping children, and maybe you won't be so lonely. What's all this hubbub about male loneliness? Y'all are acting like you're oppressed when I've opened myself up to friendships and relationships with you just to get told I have sucking eyes. Myself up to friendships and
you give yourself up to friendships and relationships to you. You give yourself up to relationships to all men? To all men? It's like, seriously, this is why, honestly, a lot of women their view of the world is so small. Insanely small. Really, it's like, this is why talking to women is hard. They don't understand generalization. Okay? It has to be very specific. It has to be specific to just her. Her and only her. You give yourself relationships to men or just a select few that you're interested in. And you think, that solves what?
Relationships with you just to get told I have sucking eyes. That is hyper specific. Not everyone is your ex-boyfriend. All of men's problems are created by themselves. How is it women's responsibility to fix them? Seriously, why is it always women's job to fix everything? Any chance to...
Not a single conversation when it comes to the male loneliness epidemic have been talked about women need to fix this. Not a single conversation I've heard. Okay? Not a single conversation I've heard. Anyone said, oh, women need to fix this. No. Talking about the problem doesn't mean the solution, oh, women need to fix it. No. It's just bringing the problem to light. And it's like, yes, but this is a thing where, if women take more accountability for their actions, it would help. Okay? You want to talk about women fixing it? How about that? How about taking more accountability for your actions? How about say that, you know what? You giving your bodies to, you giving your bodies, desiring specific men, which is fine, and then ignoring other type of men, and then saying there's no good men out there. How about recognize your hypocrisy and your delusions? That might be that might be helpful.
Blame other women she seems to always take. LMAO, you are the problem. It's you carrying water for the patriarchy and blaming women for men feeling lonely and radicalized. I find it repulsive anytime I see a woman like her do shit like this. It makes me actively turn violently against things that even I would originally think are nuanced topics. And also, yes, men are lonely. No, it's not up to women to fix that. Fuck off, Nazi bitch. Things I blamed in the video. Technology, social media, dating apps, and the commodification of love. The media, low wages, the housing crisis, social alienation, lack of community, the left not speaking to men, the feeling of having no purpose. Things I didn't blame. Women! Now this might come as a shock to you, but not everything has to do with women. Sometimes we can talk about other things. Sometimes those other things are not women.
Exactly. This is the thing. I said it. The male loneliness thing, it's really not necessarily about women. I said it. Nobody, neither men or women, care about men. And they are directionless and guideless. I think men in general are not naturally, I want to work hard so I can buy shit for myself, for me to provide for myself. Men are not naturally like that. Men are givers. Personal opinion, I think men are more, psychologically built in the way that they care more about the world than women do. That's what I'm thinking. That's how I believe it. Because men desire to provide. They desire to provide for others. They desire to protect others. Women, they desire to provide and protect for themselves.
My video was about society as a whole, and yes, that includes women. I never said it was women's responsibility. I think I mentioned women like once, and it was to say that women are also lonely, but that the media and society treats women's loneliness much differently than it treats men's loneliness. And yet, thousands of tweets and comments about how I was apparently blaming women. And
we're going to talk about the whole women loneliness thing because women's loneliness is that they self-inflict it on themselves by not wanting any man. While men's loneliness is society inflicting it on men. They have no choice. Men have no choice in it. The difference.
How it's not women's fault. It's to the point where I'm like, is this projection? Do you think it is your fault? But again, my video was not about you. My video was about men. And if you want to listen to a video about women and women's problems, like I said in the original video, tune into literally anything else. Go to any college campus, turn on any TV show, watch a CIA ad.
I think it's facts, what I said. Men's loneliness and women's loneliness are drastically different. Women's loneliness, they inflict it on themselves. Men's loneliness, society inflicts it on men. Men have no choice in it. Men have no choice in it.
So embarrassing. Made an entire career out of being a pick-me. You didn't watch the video. And I'm not going to. Well, I didn't watch the video because I'd rather shoot myself than sit through a shoe video. Can someone take one for the team and watch this vid to get an answer? I'm sorry, but it was a 20-minute long video. I have ADHD, and I know some of y'all do too, but I know you motherfuckers are watching 5-hour YouTube documentaries about shit like iCarly. I know you can take time out of your busy schedule from being the most miserable people on earth and watch a 20-minute long video. Here, does this help? Are you paying attention now? She doesn't need to say it's women's fault for us to know exactly what she means. This is like bordering on schizophrenia. Yeah, she didn't say it, but we all know she did. This is why I advocate for mental health care to be free. We need to get these some therapy. Male loneliness this, male loneliness that. Do you know how isolating it feels to almost never be able to develop genuine friendships with men because they see you as nothing more than an object?
Why do you need to develop genuine friendship with men? Why? Why? You want it because you want to find a way to use men without having any obligation to men. Because here's the thing. I'm sorry. Even if you're a woman, a friend to a man, You don't have that much empathy for him. You don't have that much sympathy for him. You're not that good of a friend. I'm sorry. I just don't think you will be.
Object for sexual conquest? I'm gonna tell you something not many people probably have told you in your life. It's not about you. I get that the friend zone is a very frustrating thing to deal with. Trust me, I know. Nothing worse than enjoying being friends with a guy, but not having a romantic attraction and having to cut him off because you don't want to lead him on or hurt him. It sucks being girlfriend zoned. But coming into this conversation, basically like, woe is me, so many people want to fuck me, is a little insane. Like, maybe if this discourse was about the friend zone, this would make sense. But this is like barging into a conversation full of starving people and being like, I ate too much chicken tendies, you guys, my tummy hurts. Like, get out of here.
Women got sick of men creating a society where women were second-class citizens.
This is the thing. Men were also second-class citizens. It's like, I find it really crazy that women think that back in the day, all men were rulers, were CEOs, all men were thriving. No. They had to still fucking break their backs to provide for their family and still get shitted on by other people, by women and other men. Men were never first-class citizens. Okay? Men were always the underdogs of every fucking society. Men were always the ones who were predominantly the homeless, the useless, the trash of society.
So now men are facing loneliness.
Yeah, this is payback to you for not letting women vote decades ago. You personally.
Men failed themselves. They built a whole system for their benefit, and in the moment it starts to crumble because the
It doesn't fucking benefit men. When a society benefits the select few men, it doesn't mean that it benefits all men. Okay? That's the fuck. It's so. This is a thing where I'm sorry. Why do women show that they have a hard time comprehending? Have a hard time actually analyzing shit. You know, why do so many women and so many leftists have a hard time logically comprehending and analyzing shit? If society was built to benefit men, no man would be homeless. The homeless would be predominantly made out of women. If society was built for men, all men would succeed. If society was built for men, all kinds of aid would only be for fucking men. Very few things. I don't know what is only for men. I don't really know what is only for men. This is the thing where things that are for men are only for select few men. Even the whole, let's say this. I'm thinking about, like, let's back in the day, these country clubs that only let men in. Guess what? It only let wealthy men in. Wealthy. So it's not about men, it's about being wealthy.
oppressed class they've always subjected, women, is waking up. They start to put the blame on us. Cowards and dangerous misogynists.
So first of all, nobody's putting the blame on you. Nobody did that. I didn't do that. You made that up in your heads. And second of all, this system wasn't created for the average man. It was created for the rich and powerful. It benefits the rich and powerful.
They have their boots on.
You know what? I do agree. Free healthcare would be, at least free mental health care would be a good thing. I do agree that. I think therapy should be free.
Our necks. And the handmaidens are like, oh no, they look kind of sad.
I'm sorry, who has their boot on your neck? All men? You know who has their boot on your neck? These satanic pedophiles in charge of our government. These soulless demonic corporations that would throw your mother into a wood chipper if it made them make an extra penny. That's who has the boot on your neck. Not Joe Schmo working 2 jobs so he doesn't get evicted.
Here's some male loneliness discourse for you. Do you ever at all, even for a second, consider the problem is you? That maybe, just maybe, the reason you're lonely is that you are an awful human being, truly just awful, and that
So, this is the thing, okay? So, that maybe, just maybe, the reason you're lonely is that you are an awful human being. So, let me put this in a different way. So are women saying that if you were the nicest of nice man, absolutely the biggest gentleman in the world, absolutely a doormat of niceness, does that guarantee you women? Does that guarantee you friends? Does that guarantee you somebody to care about you? You could be the most nicest doormat in the fucking world. Honestly, you could like you can be so fucking nice. People get cavities around you. Does that guarantee you friendship? Fucking stupid. Bring back shame. That's one thing I definitely agree with.
It's right that you are lonely, it's fair. I mean, yeah, they probably do consider that. The suicide rate doesn't lie. Maybe if some men weren't bigots. The solution to male loneliness is literally just being a better person. I love that the implication here is that lonely people are bad people. Every lonely man is just a bigot and a racist and an Andrew Tate fan. I guess it makes...
So, yeah, and every man who is lonely, he's a terrible man. But every woman that's lonely, what? Is she a terrible woman? No. That logic only applies to men. Don't apply to women. That's funny.
Is it easier for them to like not care about this if they paint these people as the enemy? If you dehumanize the enemy, it makes it easier to sleep at night, I suppose. Now, I started noticing a reoccurring pattern with a lot of these accounts. A lot of these accounts getting mad about or like dismissing the male loneliness discourse. Many of them have OnlyFans. This is relevant because like out of everyone on earth, why would those people be so mad about someone wanting to solve or at least bring attention to the male loneliness epidemic? This is like a crack dealer getting mad at people talking about crack addiction. This is your opinion, and this is where it belongs. Have a good day. I could say that, okay? I'm a YouTuber. That's far more degrading than being an OnlyFans model.
Her face looks like she's pandering to pedophiles. That makeup style is so catered to pedophiles. They're actively trying to make themselves look like kids.
Ah yes, children. Notorious for wearing big fake eyelashes and 10 pounds of eyeliner.
What? Can't stand this bitch and her sidebar. Bitches with this makeup style piss me the fuck off. They always wear that type of makeup. Looking at her makeup, I already know the type of person she is. You can just tell by her makeup. Not to be rude.
Wow. A lot of body shaming. A lot of shaming for that. It's like this, one thing is like I like making my content is like I clearly show that women are no better than men. Women say a whole lot of shit. Their actions speak differently.
But that makeup tells everything I need to know. Her makeup says everything I need to know.
This is literal NPC behavior. Not watching the video, blindly spewing the exact same insults, just, I have no argument and I must scream. They don't even know why they're mad. They just saw a woman in the thumbnail of a video about men and their brains just broke. Her makeup doesn't look like ours. Her hair is styled differently than ours. Should I be like extra cute in this thumbnail? Would that piss them off?
I'm not like other girls.
Why do we hate her again?
Guys, why do we hate this person again? Can't form my own opinion, help. Why do we hate her?
Why do all incel adjacent women look like this?
When you're a woman talking about men's issues online and they can't outright call you an incel, they just call you incel adjacent, I guess. And when they're not calling you incel adjacent, they're breaking out all reliable pick me behavior. Pick me girls are so CEO of pick me, high priestess of pick me church. So I am the CEO of pick me and the high priestess. Maybe this video will boost me to pick me goddess. Watch out, Pearl, I'm coming for your title. Now, I've already talked about the pick me insult in other videos, but it's just so lazy, man. I'm so tired of it. I've been hearing it for over a decade now. And yes, there are people who absolutely do fit the definition of a pick me from both genders. Men who talk about how much they hate men, women who talk about how much they hate women. But I don't hate women. My mom is a woman, my sister is a woman, my friends are women.
I will also say this, right? No matter what the backlash I ever get, I've always said I don't hate women. I don't. My content is not about hating anybody. It's more about showing the hypocrisies and delusions. It's more showing about the double standards, the lack of accountability. Just so happens that, you know what? I'm showing women with it. Because here's the thing. We have society built on shitting on men. So much of it. So do I need to add to that? No, I don't fucking need to do that. So I want to show the different side.
I am a woman. I can't be women-phobic. I have women friends. But the insult is just so beyond overused nowadays. Every woman who doesn't toe the current line is a pick-me. It's just a way to socially ostracize other women, to make you fall in line and agree with their opinions. But it's not going to work here, because I am socially retarded and borderline autistic. So you have no power here. You can't tell me what to believe. You can't change my opinions. You're not my boyfriend. I hope this bitch fails to wake up in the morning. Her terrorism still hasn't stopped. Oh my god. She's still relevant? She should have went down with her anti-feminism shtick a few years ago. I thought she would have fell off by now. If you want to know how I didn't fall off, if you want to know how I'm still relevant after 10 years, look in a f***ing mirror. You stop being cringe, I stop being relevant. Deal? Fun fact, she reached out to incel accounts.
Can I? Okay, Villa. I like discourse. I like discourse. So, being negative. Please, I want to. This is the thing where I always like this discourse, because if you think that holding people, in this case women, accountable, breaking delusions and hypocrisies as negative, you think not holding women accountable, you think supporting delusions and hypocrisies as a positive, why? I don't understand. Why is that a positive? And cool. I mean, this is the thing where I've never considered myself a player, a bad boy. I never consider myself two-faced. I'm not here to attract women. I'm not, okay? It's not my this is not my goal. I'm not like, I'm not gonna fake something. You know, like this is a thing where this is why men like Derek Jackson, I don't know if you know him. Types of men like Derek Jackson's, or men that, like I said, the players, the bad boys, the two-faced men, the men that, you know how to toe the line, know how to manipulate, know how to lie and deceive women. That's how those guys work. For me, that's not me. It's not me. I have no desire to, feed into anybody, man or women, into their delusions, their hypocrisies. No, I don't do that. I don't care to do that. So for me, if you think that it's a negative to hold women accountable for their words and their actions as negative, okay. I never said it's. If you don't think it's a positive, that's cool. And you know what? That probably is true. They probably do benefit from it. So they benefit from the whole whatchamacallit. And this is the thing where you said it, okay? Women do want men with goals, visions, and who wants family. But here's the thing. The problem is that not every man is going to be a six-figure man. But so many women want men to have the ambition to make six figures. That is unrealistic. It's not going to happen. Every man cannot make six figures. And even though you said, oh no, we don't want six figures. But here's the thing. You ask for the ambition, the lifestyle that a six-figure man can provide. Okay, whether you say the amount or not, it's the lifestyle. Not every man can provide that kind of lifestyle. So on top of the money, okay, the lifestyle, not every man can do that. Here's the thing. Not every man is going to meet women's attraction level. So many women are saying so many men are unattractive. Really? Men have looked pretty much like how they used to look. Okay? And here's the kind of the insanity. There are more obese women in the US than there are obese men. So really, it's like, and I'm not saying that, there's no really stats that's showing that women or men are getting, less attractive with time. But what we can say is that at least obesity level under attraction, more women are becoming more obese than men. I'm not saying men aren't obese. I'm saying it's just that women are complaining that there are very few attractive men. Yet there are more obese women than there are obese men. So I'm more saying that this is a thing where women's standards have become more delusional than it's ever been. And it doesn't make sense. Average women don't find average men attractive in any kind of metric. How they look, how they act, and their money. Nothing about average men are attractive to average women. And that's the thing where no one is realizing. Yes, women want men to be ambitious, but the amount women want is higher than it used to be. Here's the thing. Saying that, other people will be, I never said that, being fat and obese is ugly. I never said I never call myself the most athletic, insanely handsome man. So really, you think that, I say that they're obese women, meaning what? I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I never said that. I've said that I'm an average man. But here's the thing. An average woman, even if she's obese or fat, she would not even be attracted to me. That's the thing where I'm talking about. Average women are not even, they find average men unattractive. That's the thing. Who said that, oh my God, I'm better looking than obese women? I've never said that. Or I'm better than fat women. I've never said that. I've dated, different shapes of women before. So really, it's not me saying that. It's not meaning that, I hate obese or fat women. No.
For help with this video. No, I'm not kidding. Well, yeah, it's good to go to the source and talk to the people who have experience with the subject I'm talking about. I'm not lonely and I'm not a man, despite what the mainstream media may say. I do not, in fact, have a penis. Do not put in the paper that I have a penis.
We scour the internet for weird video to show you, and the other day we came across this, the weirdest we've seen in the wild.
The problem is Shu just affirms them instead of converting them. Converting them to what? This is exactly the thing I talked about in my video. These people don't want to actually help men. They just want to recruit them into their little political tribe. Would it be cool if everyone agreed with me politically? I was gonna say yes, but honestly that would be a little horrifying. That would be a very scary world. My goal wasn't to convert men to agree with me politically. My goal was just to bring attention to this issue and put a spotlight on it. It is cool when people tell me, oh, you've changed my mind on this, you've changed my mind on that. I love that. I love to see that. I was unaware that was my job. My job is to get on YouTube and say poo poo pee pee and everyone go ha 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 and give me money. But in this case, it was for me to go, hey, the men are not okay, and for people to go, damn, that sucks, and give me money. PragerU is sharing She110's video now. Explain to me how she's still a leftist. I personally think it's a good thing when people agree on good things. There should be more people agreeing on good things, quite frankly. I feel like a lot of good things would be done in this country if more people agreed on good things. And I don't know, I think it's pretty neat that this might be the first and last time a video that talks about alienation under capitalism and says the term material conditions will be shown to a massive right-wing audience like PragerU.
Villa, this is a thing where that's the problem with a lot of people, where you want to ignore what's going around, what's happening around you. You want to ignore. You saying, okay, if men are nice to women, are you saying that it guarantees them women? It doesn't. Being nice to a woman does not guarantee you a woman. So really, they want slaves. That's the thing where women really need to wake up. Plenty of men are nice to women. Plenty. Don't mean that they will get women. That's not how it works. Being nice to a woman does not guarantee you a woman. So really stop with that narrative, okay? That's right. Nothing is guaranteed. That's why I'm not saying that, don't say that, you need to do this, you need to do that. I've never said what you need to do whatever. I've never said that. Okay? I'm not here telling men you need to do this so you can get women. No. What I tell men is that you need to develop self-respect. You need to care about yourself. You need to develop goals. You need to develop a direction. That's the thing. I never tell men, oh, treat women like this, treat women. No, because none of that guarantees you women. So what I tell men is that, you know what? You need to focus on yourself. You need to try to be the best version of yourself for yourself, not for women. Because at the end of the day, women will like you however it is. You can't decide how women will like you. Because women are honestly, they don't even know what they like. Here's Villa saying, oh, be nice to women and treat them right and they will be there. But that's not a guarantee. Plenty of men have treated women amazingly and they still get broken up with, ignored, divorced. So really, women like this, I'm sorry, you're showing why you don't understand the world around you. A lot of women live in their own little bubble where they ignore the world around them. They don't, at least they ignore the life of other men. They don't care. They don't care about what happens with other men. They care about what happens to other women. They care about what happens to other races. They care what happens to other genders. When it comes to men, women generally don't care. Women generally don't care. Because here's the thing, like I said, why I want to promote men to be more, have some more self-respect, have more focus where they care about, being the best version of themselves, is that you need to control the narrative of your life. You need to show that, you know what? I'm happy regardless of whatever situation comes up. Please tell me, what am I saying that has attacked women? I hate this narrative. Like, stop it with that. Stop it with that. It's like I'm quite sure this is probably the first time you listen to me. I've yet to say women are bad, women are this, women are that. I've not attacked, I don't really attack women like that. Okay? Like I said, if holding women accountable for their words, their actions, okay, is attacking, fine, whatever. If trying to break hypocrisy and delusions, fine, whatever. I don't deem those as attacking, okay? That's something that we need to understand. Not attacking. I mean, and you know what? This is the thing. I do agree with that. Have goals, know yourself, be confident, achieve your goals. We agree on that. I'm not saying that that we need to fight on it. I say I agree on that. Villa, if you see my stuff, one of the things I do promote is accountability, man or women. I always hold myself accountable. I always hold myself accountable, 100%. Yeah.
You. But hey, don't worry your little heart. This will never happen to a left-wing YouTuber you watch. The internet feminists weren't the only ones booty blasted about my video. I also rustled the jimmies of some in the manosphere. You just want more OnlyFans subscribers. You don't care about male loneliness. She's actually a man dressed as a woman. That's why she or he is there speaking about men's issues. Fellas, protect your sanity, your seed, and your wallet in these current times. These women are shapeshifters. This chick is gonna hit the wall in 10 years. That's why she cares about male loneliness. She sees many cats in her future. They want—
What makes this is the manosphere? What makes this, literally the toxicity in these comments are no different than the toxicity of those other comments.
Want us back on the plantation, gentlemen. Hold the line. I don't really understand what the conspiracy here in general is, though. Like I'm just talking about a subject I found important and interesting, like I've been doing on this channel, and these guys are like, stay strong, brothers, don't give in to temptation. Why are we listening to women about male loneliness? Plenty of male figures discussing this. Honestly, I'm gonna say it, SJW behavior, liberal behavior, woman behavior, to imply that I shouldn't speak or be listened to about a subject because I'm not the correct gender. Anyone can talk about anything they want. That's free speech, bit. You don't have to listen. You can make
Thank you. Thank you, Villa. This is a thing where now I don't have a lot of female followers, maybe one or two, but I really want people, women to particularly understand. I'm not here to hate on women. That's not what I promote. I've said this countless times before. That's not what I'm promoting. I want us to understand each other. How about have deep conversations? You know, I think there's a problem where this whole thing we're lacking is that we're not having good conversations anymore. Deep, meaningful conversations. Let's talk to each other. I think that's a problem that we have where we're not trying to understand each other. Okay? And I think that's a problem.
Make your own video talking about the subject, Mr. Man, but you know they're just gonna call you sexist and misogynist, so you might as well just use me as a human shield. It's not that she's a woman or cares, she's the kind of person who will only talk about an issue because it's popular. Women suddenly want to help men, but only because it benefits them and their causes.
Well, now not only are conservative women talking about it, but also the left. This is the problem with the women that decide to come forward and speak about men's issues. They don't care about men's issues. You must ask the question. Now that they're coming around and talking about men's issues, is it to help men or to win men into their cause?
So first of all, let me just clear something up because some of you seem a bit confused. I started talking about these subjects 10 years ago, way back before it was popular to do so.
I didn't know she was a leftist. I mean, having the American flag in the back kind of didn't. I don't know. It's like I find it more Republican than the left. So
back when I
Thank you, Villa. I that's what I really like to do. I love having deep conversations where we're not bashing each other, but just actually having conversations.
I was doxxed, harassed, had angry feminists calling my job and trying to get me
They can be. Big bars, they can be.
fired over mocking pop feminism and talking about men's issues. And a lot of these people coming at me now, telling me I'm jumping on a bandwagon, started like 2 or 3 years ago, when it was safe to do so. So with all due respect, sir,
stay out of my territory.
But in full seriousness, it is good when more people talk about this subject. I'm glad you talk about this. I'm glad there are people like the Honey Badgers who have been talking about this stuff for a very long time. This girl is a fake who wants every man to be a castrated beta male feminist commie like her boyfriend probably is. She takes advantage of men like this. Do not listen to her. Lefty women want to help men become good feminists who devote their lives to helping women have all the power so they can make men their servants. Basically, we need to help men destroy men. That's the only way men should be helped. We women said so. Shoe on head. Real quote, never trust a woman, even if they are saying the truth. It's so weird how, like, they need to convince themselves that even when a woman is showing empathy and, like,
No, I never see. This is the thing where I never any video I have. Okay, I never say, "Oh, this woman represents all women," or "This man represents all men." I never do that kind of blanket statement. I think that's unrealistic and not healthy. Where we say, "Oh, what if this person says this? It represents all women," or if this man says this, it represents all men. No, that's ridiculous. Nothing represents all.
Caring about this subject that she's just like a lying snake in the grass. Literally just a mirror universe of these fucking femcells. It's mommy and daddy issues all the way down. Ladies, be a good mom to your sons. Fellas, be a good dad to your daughters. Try to prevent creating the most insufferable, annoying people on earth, please. I don't know if it's because I grew up with a good relationship with both of my parents or what, but this gender war shit is just so toxic, man. Men and women need each other, you know, we're yin and yang, and the yin and yang is being torn apart by miserable people who want to make you miserable as well. One of the most valid criticisms I got about this video was that I didn't offer any solutions. And honestly, that's because I don't have any.
Here's my thing, okay? I'm gonna off my person. Yo, what's up? Hello. Thank you, Layla. Thank you for stopping by. Here's I said this already, okay? My personal solution to the whole male loneliness epidemic is that I said it. One of the big, it's not because men can't men are not getting sex. I don't think that's the thing. I believe men are directionless and guideless. They don't know what to do. So what I believe a lot of men need to do is that they need to figure out self-respect, care about themselves. So many men do not care about themselves. They don't. And so many men do not know what their purpose in life is. I always believe this. All men, their purpose is to provide and protect. That is their purpose. Now, yes, it's harder now because women deem men less than. Like I said, average women don't find average men attractive. But here's the thing. Fuck it. At the end of the day, we live in a society where you need to make money. So what I say is that men need to achieve the best version of themselves. And what I say the best version of yourself is not necessarily, oh, you need to make six figures. No. You need to have six pack. Not really. You need to be, charming as shit. Not really. The best version of yourself is be happy. So one of the parts of being happy is, gain financial freedom. Now, if part of it to achieve that happiness is to go to the gym, look better, cool. But do it for yourself. Do it where you feel happy, you feel fulfilled. Because a lot of times men in general, we do it for others. We want to provide, we want to protect for others. We think about others. That's my personal opinion. But here's a time where people, they think about themselves. And men need to honestly rewire themselves. Where think about yourself. Achieve your happiness, create financial freedom for yourself. Okay? There are many ways to, navigate life. If you want to create a family, a wife, that's cool. But that can be, an end goal. But to achieve that is that you need to build some sense that you are happy with your life. And I believe a lot of men, because they're directionless and guideless, they're not happy. And they don't know how to achieve that happiness. So I do believe that, caring how, your life is, it's part of that. You know, right now I'm not like actively and crying because, dating and stuff like that. So what I do is like I find purpose, creating this channel, talking to people, is one of my purpose, one of the a good clear direction I have. Financial education. I'm big on the stock market, big on investing, big on saving, big on budgeting. That makes me happy too. Building my wealth up makes me happy. So a lot of men need to understand that. Problem of older generations is that older generation of men, they built their life around women. And nowadays, women are detaching themselves from men. So sadly, men need to follow suit. Men need to follow suit. Men need to stop building their world around women. Because it's to do that nowadays, it's become an unhealthy thing. Because women don't need men like that. So what men need to do is just focus on themselves. Focus on creating the happiness that you can, achieve for yourself. I created a life where, I'm happy regardless. I'm happy regardless. I make my money for myself. If I can get, a woman, create a family, that's amazing. But if I can't, at least I'm content. That's what a lot of men need to try to achieve. I do think a lot of men need to, it's not necessarily leave women alone, but don't make women your whole world. I think that's a problem with a lot of men where we focus too much on women, women, women. It really is. Because, like I said, society now, women don't really focus on men like that. So we need to change our focus. We definitely do. All right, let's do some All right, let's do some TikTok videos, okay? We have some TikTok videos that pretty much on the same subject, because tonight the subject is male loneliness, okay? So, thank you for, stopping by. Thank you for checking out the live, but that is the subject for tonight, so I'm going to continue with that. I still have a few TikTok videos that I want to talk to and react about.
Sorry, not to be a hater.
All right.
But the male loneliness epidemic, who fucking cares? Literally. What are you guys gonna do now? Pew up a bunch of schools? You already do that. You're gonna unalive your wife and kids? You already do that. You're gonna terrorize nations? Already do it. Start a war? Did it. Destroyed economies? Did it. Destroyed democracies? Doing it now.
The fact that video.
See, that's the thing where I really hate. I really hate that. Let's play that again.
Sorry, not to be a hater, but the male loneliness epidemic, who fucking cares? Literally. What are you guys gonna do now?
100% hate. This is why I say it. This is why I say that men need to essentially focus on building their own happiness. That is very important. You know what? I agree, Queen. Having accountability, knowing your actions and your words is very important. It is very important. And if you don't have it, it's a kryptonite. It's a weakness. Yeah. And that's the thing where this is where I say part of it is like stop benefiting from the backs of men. This is why men need to. If women have stepped away from needing men or focusing on men or centering men, because now a lot of women are saying they want to decenter men. Cool. Fine. I support it. Men also need to do the same. Men also need to do the same. If the world has changed where women don't value men, cool. Men should step away. Men should focus on creating their own happiness, creating, financial freedom for themselves, okay? To create a life where you can find happiness. Have self-respect, i.e., you care about yourself.
Pew up a bunch of schools? You already do that. You're gonna unalive your wife and kids? You already do that. You're gonna terrorize nations? Already do it. Start a war? Did it. Destroyed economies? Did it. Destroyed democracies? Doing it now.
The fact that video has so many likes and views really goes to show how illogical some people are. Whether you choose to care or not care about the male loneliness epidemic, this was an absolutely ridiculous example, so let's get into it. Naming a select group of men that choose to go and do these absolutely horrific acts and then putting that on every single man, that is literally what racist people do. Sitting there and naming things like murdering their wife and kids and causing school shootings and saying, oh yeah, you guys already do that. Like majority of men are participating in things like that. No, they are not. What you're doing is saying that between men and women, men do those things more than women, but they don't do them often. I could use the same dumb logic that she does against women and say, well, why should we care about women and their mental health? Like, what are they going to do? Kill children or abuse children? Because they do that way more than men. Why should I care about women and their mental health? They initiate 70% of domestic violence.
That's interesting. Okay.
In their mental health,
women initiate 70% of non-reciprocal domestic violence, meaning they hit partners who didn't hit them first. The CDC, okay, a CDC study. That is something I didn't know. That is a CDC study. That is something I didn't know. Women initiated 70% of non-reciprocal domestic violence. A CDC study, meaning they hit partners who didn't hit them first.
70% of domestic violence. The reality is, even though statistically these things happen more in women, overall, most women don't do those things. I understand that, though. Out of the U.S. population of 162 million men,
I think on both ends there are a lot of jaded people who need to heal their childhood trauma. Taking accountability for your action doesn't absolve that person. You know, I do agree. People do need help from childhood traumas or just traumas, right? Life traumas. Um, Taking accountability, doesn't absolve a person from hating you, hurting you. But here's the thing: where taking accountability, personal opinion, is that it's a step where you can heal your trauma, where you understand that people are shitty. People are shitty. It's up to you to not deal with shitty people. Here's the thing: what I've always said, I have dated shitty women in my past, but I can say this: I will never badmouth an ex. I will never badmouth an ex because guess what? For me to badmouth an ex, it's a reflection of me. If I say this woman is garbage, well, I dated this woman. So really, if I was fine with dating garbage, just like a woman, oh, you say, oh, he's an abusive, he's a liar, he's a cheater. Okay, you badmouth that man. You were fine with dating. You wanted to give your body to an abuser, to a liar, to a cheater. No. This is the thing where we recognize I chose that person. I chose that person. So I need to do self-reflection where, you know what? It's my fault. I should never have chosen a person like this. That is how you heal and how you gain wisdom. My personal opinion, I believe a lot of people lack wisdom. And that is because they lack accountability. You can't grow if you don't recognize your mistakes. You will continue to live in delusions if you constantly think, oh, it's other people. Other people are the problem. Your ex is the problem. That man is the problem. That woman is the problem. Because this is what we're having too, where let's say a lot of men are blaming women for whatever, for the loneliness shit. No, don't blame. I don't blame women for having standards. Okay, I don't. I never say I blame women. Oh, women, are terrible for having standards. No, it's that at the end of the day, we have to take accountability for our own actions. That's the problem. That's the problem that a lot of us are having.
Only 20 to 30 actually have participated in school shootings. That is less than 1% of most men. And the reality is most men actually did not initiate a war. Most men were actually forced to go and fight in them. It was one selective man that typically started the war, and then a group of men had to go and participate and fight in it. Like I said, these are the same type of logic that racist people use to justify their hate for that specific race. This girl, in my opinion, wants to come up with a way to not sound like an absolute sociopath by basically saying, I don't care about men's mental health, and then go and name a bunch of things that some men have done to go and, therefore put it on all men. The reality is most women, when they picture hearing about like men's problems, they only picture men that they don't like. They don't picture their brothers. They don't picture their fathers, their future sons. They don't picture any of these people. Because I know for a fact if you saw your dad crying or your son crying, talking about how he wants to off himself, you'd suddenly care about the men's loneliness.
Nobody who's an abuser or cheater is going to announce that they are like that until you're further down the relationship. You can call out what did happen, yet also need to reflect on yourself as well. I'm not saying don't call it out, okay? I of course I agree with that. I'm not saying like don't call it out, but I'm saying this, right? It's true. There are liars out there. It's also true that people, and I've done that. I've been a victim of it myself, where I ignore red flags. I ignore red flags until it's too late. So again, this is a hypothetical. A woman ignored a red flag where he is kind of he's very, let's say he gets loud, he gets angry a lot. Oh, it's just like, oh, she makes an excuse. He gets angry, okay? In the beginning of a relationship, ignores that red flag, and then later down the road, surprised that he abused her. It happens. It happens. I'm not saying that is 100% all the time, but I'm saying that the issue is that we ignore red flags. So, why I say accountability matters is that if we recognize that well, the only thing we can control, we can't control the other person. We can't control the abusers, the liars, the cheaters, whatever. We can't control them. What we can control is ourselves. So the only important thing is your own life, not the other person. So if you know that, you know what, accountability is important. I need to do better. I need to gain wisdom, because blaming the other person does not improve wisdom. It doesn't. So knowing that, you know what, the problem is that I ignored this red flag, and then I saw that, you know what, if I didn't ignore that red flag, I wouldn't experience this person. I wouldn't continue to see the ugliness of this person. So that's more beneficial to us, where, you know what, we take in our own actions to improve, then, you know what, recognizing this person is a liar and a cheater, right? That's my personal opinion. This is more, for me to say, it's more self-improvement. Yes, you can call out these people are terrible people, great, but that doesn't help you improve yourself.
Epidemic. You wouldn't go and correlate your son or your father or somebody that you care about that's a man to some random dictator who happened to be a man and start a war. You wouldn't go and compare your grandpa, your father, somebody you love, to like Chris Watts, who went and offed his whole entire family. You understand those are extreme cases and they don't happen very often. Because listen, if it makes you feel better that you're hating an entire group of a population just because of something less than 1% of that demographic has done, if that makes you feel better like you're not the bad person, then more power to you. But the reality is, her point of view is coming from a place of hate, and there's actually no fact behind it. But that's just my opinion. But hey, what do you think?
Plot twist. My MLE video was removed for this. So what I'm learning here is
this is the same woman. This is the same hateful woman.
TikTok is male and he is lonely. I think what upset a lot of you about my video was my apathy. I think a lot of you didn't like,
or lack thereof. This is what I said. Women, not all, but this whole live stream has shown you that there is a lot of women, not all women. I'm not saying all women, but there's a lot of women, especially internet women. They lack empathy and sympathy. They do, especially when it comes to men.
that I looked at you straight in the camera and I said, the MLE, who cares? I don't. Apathy is my right. Apathy is also your right. Be unkind. It might be not nice, but it is rather neutral. It's like aggressively neutral. I've been the recipient of someone's apathy and it doesn't make me feel all rosy inside. But it's also, they're not walking away wishing me unwell. They're walking away going, I don't think about you. I'm not registering you because I got my own life to live and I'm unsubscribing. I'm hard passing from you. Apathy is not the same thing as wanting a problem to get worse. I don't want the MLE to get worse. I don't. I just don't care about it. If the MLE was framed as a human loneliness.
Here's the thing where no one is saying that women need to care. That's the thing where the whole male loneliness thing, no one is saying women need to care. But if you take time to actually think about it, the nuances about it, because you think about this, okay? What if your son? What if it's your son? What if it's your brother? What if it's your father? What if it's whoever in your circle? Now you care? Maybe now it's too late to care. That's the thing where we don't think about. Or how about this? Okay, how about women are saying that birth rates are low, marriage are, it's decreasing, less people are getting married. Women are complaining about there's no suitable men out there. Women are complaining that there's no suitable men out there. Women are complaining that, men don't have goals, men don't have ambitions, men aren't trying to do this. That's the thing where put two and two together. You can't complain about certain aspects when it comes to men and then say that you don't care about the male loneliness epidemic. That's where conversation is important. Because here's the problem with like a woman like this. I'm not saying her particularly, but women with this kind of mentality. I don't care about male loneliness. Cool. But if it happens to your son, do you? If it happens to your brother, do you? or if it happens to you where you can't find a suitable man to date or be with, does it now care? That's the thing where, yes, I get it. If it doesn't apply to your life, you don't care. But then when it does, it may be too late to care. It may be too late. It may be we are at such an extreme that it's too late. Layla said, but it acknowledges the reality of what transpired. You have to acknowledge what it is in order to fully take accountability. Oh. I agree. I never said delude yourself, right? Don't delude. This is a thing where I'm also against delusion. Don't delude yourself. Take accountability. Also, yes, recognize the situations you've been in. Right? I definitely agree with that. Do not delude yourself. Take account for the things that has transpired. It's important.
Epidemic, I would be running with my chair to grab a seat at that table to look for a solution. But the centering of men in this
So men is half of the population. So you only care because if women are included. That means you never did care.
loneliness issue as if their loneliness is superior or more extreme than any other gender isn't something that I...
First of all, it kind of is, because male suicides are higher than women. Okay? So it matters. Yo, Robert, thank you for stopping by. It's okay. It's women, be okay with a man who lives at home. Also, nobody wants to integrate into someone else's life. They want us.
want to partake in. And then there's the whole or elseism element of the MLE. Gotta be nice to them or else. We gotta make them not feel lonely or else. Or else what?
Who says that? What the hell are you doing? What a weird argument. Or what a weird, no one says or else.
What? And that's what I said very facetiously in my first video. We've already been the recipients of a lot of this or elseism. How much worse could it possibly get? And this might come as a shock to many.
That's not or else, because again, all men aren't like all the lonely men aren't committing these things that she said in her first video.
Of you, but I am a wife to a husband, a daughter to a father, a sister to a brother, and I have a lot of male friends. They have never once expected me or asked me to center their loneliness or their issues in my life so that I will then become safer. A lot of men in my comments of this video that was taken down said that very thing. Putting the expectation on anybody else is unfair. I don't want the MLE to get worse. I will not center men in my life.
Do you know what the male loneliness epidemic is? Just natural selection. It's not that women don't want men. Women just don't want shit men, really. And men that show no compassion. And they're just fucking freaks. So maybe it's not because you're not very good looking. Because you could be a really good person. You could be an amazing person. And not be the best looking. You could still find a partner. But have you considered that maybe you're both chopped and a shit person? If you can't do things to change what you look like, maybe you can change the way you are. Because my odds are that you are a shit cunt. So...
This is a thing where even men don't care about other men. Again, you perceive that men are lonely just because they are shitty men. So you perceive that good men aren't lonely. That don't make sense. You perceive that good men automatically guarantee he has women. That's fucking stupid argument.
Scott Galloway is going viral this week for talking about the male epidemic of loneliness, which is frustrating because I never hear anyone ever talk about the female epidemic of loneliness. Because in a patriarchal society, the problems of women and children are ignored, while the problems of men are highlighted. Instead of men learning how to emotionally regulate and be alone with themselves, we will change society. We will do things to make sure that.
Here's the thing. Men understand how to be alone. Men are used to it. Being alone is not the problem. Okay? I've said this before. What truly is the problem is young men are guideless and directionless. Yes, they're alone right now, but in their mind, they think that they will be alone for the rest of their life. It's not about right now. It's about their future. Young men don't know what to do because of the future. And to say that, I'm sorry, women's loneliness is something to talk about, it's not. Women don't have to be alone. They choose to be alone. Men have no choice to be alone. Okay? Women actually choose to be alone. Men don't.
Men's problems are taken care of. Because within a heteronormative society, men's success is defined with how they can get a heteronormative partner. And instead of teaching men how to love themselves, we're teaching them that your only value.
I agree that more men need to learn love themselves, but loving themselves is not necessarily the problem. It's that, like I said, men are directionless and guideless. They don't know how to navigate their future. Okay? They don't know how to navigate their future. They're thinking about the future. They're thinking about what's going to happen down the road. So they imagine their life now and they see it as their future. So yes, men will deal with loneliness. Men know it. Men are used to being alone. But the problem is they're fearing that they will be alone for the rest of their life. That is the problem. Not because, oh, right now I'm lonely. No. In a lot of young men's mind is that they feel like they'll be alone for the rest of their life.
Your only success, your only way of proving who you are and your masculinity is by finding a romantic partner. And so the crisis in masculinity is not male loneliness.
Here's the thing where it's men like this that are stupid to biology. We as humans, as any kind of creature on this planet, we are meant to procreate. Period. I'm sorry, no creature on this planet is meant to stay alive because they want to make money. No. Survival and continuing of the species. That is nature. That is nature. So ingrained into men is that yes, the most important thing is to procreate, is to get with a partner so you can procreate. I'm more saying that, you know what? Understanding that we're living in a world where everyone just thinks about themselves, men need to adapt. This is a problem where women have changed. Men haven't. Men have stayed the same. So the issue is that men also need to adapt. Where, you know what? They got to think about themselves as well. Men need to think about themselves more. Okay? Which is the whole self-happiness.
The crisis in masculinity is not allowing men to go to therapy, to be emotionally vulnerable with themselves in order to be able to get in touch with themselves, to love themselves. Because unless we teach men how to love themselves and how to be happy alone, they will never be happy even when they are surrounded by love. When men will be able to love themselves, that is when they will stop feeling so alone.
For me, I think this whole thing where loving themselves is a little bit different. In the sense that I think men should be have self-respect. Where they respect themselves. Loving themselves is, I don't know. I kind of see like more respect yourself. Because I see it as more, there's more weight to it. Okay? Where you have set boundaries where you focus on, you know what? Focus on yourself. Where, I mean, maybe it's just two different things, right? I mean, it could be just two different things. I prefer to say just have some self-respect. And this is the thing where this guy talks about, also, I don't know why he talks about the women loneliness. Which is weird.
Scott Galloway is going viral. I've seen a lot of men upset at women's response and reaction to Scott Galloway talking about the men's loneliness epidemic. And whenever I talk about men's mental health or therapy and how much I get out of going to therapy and how much it makes my life better.
Me personally, I don't think therapy is a good thing. I don't. I do think that men need to talk. They need to talk things. Men need to express their emotions, their feelings, their thoughts. I think therapists in general, not saying all, it's kind of poisonous. It doesn't give you solutions, and it's very feminine centric. Okay, so I think it continues the descent of your mental, in my personal opinion. It doesn't really help you. I don't think so. So, but I do believe that men do need to talk more to other men.
I always get one or two comments. Now, the first will be insecure, lonely men who make fun of me and call me weak or a beta for going to therapy in the first place. And then there will be other lonely and insecure men who ask me, who is stopping men from going to therapy? Who is stopping men from getting help? Like, they aren't the same people making fun of other men when they actually do go to therapy and get help. Like,
for me, it's like I would never make fun of a man. I would never make fun of a man for going to therapy for help. I would say therapy is not a good thing. If you do it and it helps, great. I don't think it helps in general. Because honestly, it gives him this kind of point of view. Okay? And I don't think it's necessarily helpful to most men.
Aren't making the other comments saying you're weak or a beta. If you want to be miserable and have terrible relationships, that's fine. I actually want to enjoy my life and be happy and value the relationships and the people in my life. And I think you should too. You can be emotionally unregulated all you want. I actually want to be in control of my life. I will never understand why other men think it's weak to enjoy life or to be happy. Being happy is about as masculine as it can get. It's the easiest way to be a good dad or a good husband or a good friend. Be happy. Don't.
This is a thing where this is a man is being foolish in the sense that going to therapy does not guarantee you happiness. That's ridiculous. Going to therapy does not guarantee you happiness. Again, I support men talking. I do. That's why I love how more and more men are speaking. They are voicing their opinions. They're voicing their emotions. They're not just bottling it in. I just don't think therapy is necessarily conducive to how to regulate that correctly. Because honestly, I think more and more men turn out very weak-minded, in my personal opinion. It's kind of effeminate. Okay, it's not helpful to the general society. Individually, right? If this man is like kind of soy boy, effeminate, it's fine, for the few people. But I mean, Big Bar said it, So, but I just, it's good on him. I don't think that's good for most men.
Be miserable to be around. So many men think that they are supposed to be angry and miserable, and that's what masculinity is, which is why they need therapy in the first place. So they can live more productive and enjoyable life. Like, it's an entire person's job to actually care about you and listen to you. So stop putting that emotional label.
Therapists don't care. They don't care. Do they listen to you? I mean, they listen to you, but I don't think they listen to you in a productive way.
on the relationships in your life, like your mom and your wife and your girlfriend. Outsource it to a professional so that you can actually be happy and enjoy life, because that is the most masculine thing that you can do for yourself. I've seen a lot of men upset.
I don't think that's the most masculine thing you can do. I don't know if he's the right person to be speaking on what's the right thing for masculinity. But again, like I said, I do believe in talking. Okay? I believe in talking. Holding things in is never a healthy mindset. Uh, Okay. Wow. Thank you everyone for stopping by. I think that's it for tonight. Culture has interesting. Robert, you said some interesting stuff. Interesting. Um, yeah. Thank you everyone for stopping by. You guys are all amazing. Please check out more of my live stream. Please check out my other videos. Could be. He could have been. He could have been. I honestly believe that he probably wasn't. That's the thing where I think it's so important to have good fathers in the home. I think that's what most young men are missing. Good fathers. Good fathers. So because if they had good fathers, a lot of men would not be suffering. They wouldn't. All right, guys. All right. That's it for tonight. Okay. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Robert, thank you, man. Big Bars, love you, brother. Love you. Thank you for stopping by. Layla, thank you. All the women that checked out my stuff, thank you. Much appreciated. So thank you. Big Bars, yes. Let's see. Queen, thank you for stopping by. Villa, thank you. Great conversation. Everyone else, Y was here. Thank you. Okay. Thank you everyone for jumping in the chat. Thank you for watching the live. You guys are amazing. Okay. Thank you guys. Please check out my other videos and stay tuned for the next live. Okay. I do lives often, so please check it out. Please subscribe. I love the company. I love the discourse. So please check it out. Okay. Later, guys.